Hello everyone, this is Jesu Otaku, and this is my first Let's Play for a game that, well, I'm not really much of a gamer, unfortunately, so, or fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know, I just not. And, ooh, okay, that still scares me, just letting you know. You may see a lot of Let's Plays rather than reviews on the site for the next couple weeks until the big awards show, because it's holidays and it's finals, and we've all been busy. In fact, that might be why there hasn't been much in general. Oh, that's creepy too! Point being, I'm not much of a gamer anymore, but I used to be, and this is one of my, it's not my favorite Zelda game. My favorite franchise as far as video games is the Legend of Zelda series. I'm kind of generic that way and boring, but this is not even my favorite Zelda game. That honor belongs to Ocarina of Time, but I always felt that Majora's Mask, it has a very emotional resonance with me for two reasons. One, it scared the crap out of me when I was little. Like when I was 10 years old, this came out. It was year 2000, I believe it came out, and I was 10 years old. And oh man, I was a very sheltered child. And that big freaky moon with the eyes and the teeth and how everything was timed, I didn't get to play games very often. I had a lot of chores to do around the house, whatever, and I could play video games for like, half an hour and have to go do something else. Or an hour, it depended. The weekends were when I splurged and did hours and hours. Point being, so the fact that everything was timed, and I felt like I couldn't escape this time limit and that freaky, demon-possessed freaking moon. I mean, just, scared me to death. But, to get to the point, Majora's Mask also has, I think, a great, emotional depth as far as the characters, and I think the world feels like it's been lived in, if that makes any sense. Some games just feel like they've been lived in a little bit, and Majora's Mask feels more that way than most any other game I've played. The storylines are great, the emotion of the characters just really carries through, even though these horrible 64-bit graphics, or is it called 64-bit? I'm not very up on this whole graphics thing. Right now I'm recording, by the way, on a microphone that is being held together literally with duct tape. So hopefully the sound is not absolute crap. I believe the wiring is still fully functional, but the plastic casing is completely covered in duct tape, and oh my gosh, the Skull Kid freaky thing. For those of you who don't know the plot of Majora's Mask, what's wrong with you? Play Legend of Zelda, it's amazing. But basically, Link, our hero, has wound up in a parallel dimension to Hyrule called Termina, which has a lot of the same characters as Ocarina of Time, because it's a parallel dimension, kind of like the head one in Fullmetal Alchemist. Oops, spoilers. Yes, I named my file JO, because I'm retarded like that. Anyway, so he heads to Termina, this parallel world, and the Skull Kid, one of his old acquaintances, is... I hope I got that mouse off the screen. I did. Yes. Okay, excellent. Anyway, I have suddenly lost my train of thought. Okay, I'm not going to describe the plot to Majora's Mask. You should know it already. It's a very excellent game. And anyway... This little boy that you see running here is the subject of our story today. What I think is the most impactful and really rich story, and not just in this game, but in many video games. As far as storylines go, they're not really known for being... video games aren't exactly the pinnacle of storytelling. It's just kind of whatever you need to say in order to get the game to progress. Some of them have amazing stories, and I think this is a neat little one. This little boy that just kind of ran into this door that's locked. Link is lame and cannot swim. Anyway, and the tree. George of the jungle. I'm gonna stop that right now. Anyway, the little boy that ran into the house is the subject of our story. It's actually a love story between him and this woman named Anju, who we're going to meet in a minute. And Anju and Kafei is the love story. And you might be wondering, okay, well, that kid looked a bit prepubescent. I don't see what... Is it a puppy love? No. It's a serious romance. But that'll come to light in a minute. You may notice the clock at the bottom. That's the time limit. This parallel world of Termina ends in... let's see... 3 days, I believe. It has a 3-day lifespan. Because a sick little freak called the Skull Kid who was wearing this possessed thing like Majora's Mask, which I would explain their relationship, but basically Gollum in the Ring. I mean, Lord of the Rings, Gollum in the Ring, that's what their relationship is like, and that's why Majora's Mask has possessed this lonely little thing, Skull Kid, and kind of gotten him to say, hey, it would be pretty friggin' awesome if I could destroy the world, that'd be fun. So he decides to do it by literally, using the power of Majora's Mask to possess the moon, and fudge, I thought this was open at 8 o'clock, but it's not. I hate you. I have to get in the mayor's residence in order to progress this little subplot, so I'm just gonna wait, and Yeah. Spectacular. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So the moon is going to crash into the Earth in 3 days. And that will basically blow up the entire world. You're not going to see this happen, but if you fail, if you wait out the 3-day time period and the moon crashes into the Earth, this huge fiery inferno engulfs the whole planet and everyone dies, and it's pretty epic, actually. I mean, not much is shown, but just the music and the mood makes you feel like, okay, everyone has died. That stinks. I'm just kind of continuing to run around and wait because my first mission, my first objective is the mayor's residence, and it opens at 10 o'clock. And, okay, this is Gorman. He's the leader of a circus troupe which is supposed to perform for the festival, which, by the way, the festival was supposed to occur on the day that the world ends up ending. And it's a moon festival, go figure. Yay, irony. Miyamoto like irony. Anyway, so Gorman is the leader of this circus troupe who was supposed to perform. I'm just being retarded right now. Who's supposed to perform for the... I hate you, you are ugly and you wear tights. And hideous green shoes. Let me in. Now it's open. Anyway, he's supposed to perform for the festival. I've probably said that 10 times. I suck at Let's Plays. I am of the Gorman troupe. I have an appointment to meet with Madame today. Oh, really? Then that should be fine if you just go in. She's a slut. I don't know why, I just think his secretary is a slut. Like, she starts coming on to Link, and that's really creepy. Okay, oh yeah, there is something I need to do real fast. Oh dear, you want a field trip? Oh, you're the expert person finder I hired. Person finder. Yes, I say, you have the look of the pro. A characteristics of the person I want you to find. Yes, I know them. The person I want you to locate is my son Kafei. You know him, don't you? You don't, really? Well, disappointed appeared about a month ago. It's terrible, I'm so very worried. I can't get food down my throat, and I've lost 5 pounds. You don't know anything? Could you look for him? Oh my, of course, you're an expert. Well, I'm counting on you. Okay, the fact that she... Yeah, you have to wear this to inquire about Kafei, which we've already met him. So that was actually my first objective. Anyway, we're not going to learn Gorman's story today. I thought, well, I'm gonna go check on the diary first. Okay. A little part of the story, you probably are completely lost by this time. Kafei has a diary. Kafei's diary. Wedding ceremony is soon. It might be early, but I finished my mask. I wonder if Anju knows, and basically he wrote down that he's finished his wedding mask, because masks are an important element of this game, and you have to have a wedding mask in order to get married, because it's kind of like a wedding ring. And so he's made it, and he's ready to present it to Anju at the bar that night, but that was the last journal entry he wrote before he disappeared. And so... this is going to come up later, so I'm just going to go ahead and listen in. This kind of explains the whole conflict with the moon falling and everything, which is the main plot, not the subplot. Most of the townsfolk have already taken shelter without the mayor's orders. The only one left are public servants and committee members. Mr. Mayor and Carnival Committee members, please order those who remain to evacuate. Well... You cowards do actually believe the moon will fall. The confused townsfolk simply caused a panic by believing this groundless theory. The soldiers couldn't prevent the panic, but outside the town walls is where the danger is. You want answers? The answer is that Carnival should not be suspended. Isn't that right, Mr. Mayor? Oh, well... Are you serious, Muto? It seems the giant chunk of rock above us hasn't caught your eye. At this time every year, we are overrun by tourists, so why is the town empty? Clearly it's your job to ensure the carnival's operation. Don't drag the merchants and soldiers into this, though. If the soldiers wish to run, then run. Then we, councilmen, would carry on the tradition. This carnival will be a success. I've never heard of a defense unit abandoning the town. Madame Aroma would surely say the same thing, wouldn't she, Mayor Detour? Let's not bring my wife into this. So... yeah, I had to speed through that, but basically, that is the complete sum-up of the conflict of, people don't know if the moon's really falling on the Earth. You know, it seems ridiculous, so they're not sure whether to evacuate the town or not, but truth is, unbeknownst to them, the world really is going to freaking end in 3 days. And so the romantic subplot is not a central part of that. That's the main plot, is saving the world from the moon crashing into it. But you get to time travel between these 3 days, and, you know, complete all the objectives that are eventually needed to save the world. And this is not a required one, but this little romantic subplot, like I said, always kind of touched me, and, this guy tries to stop me from leaving, but thankfully I have a sword, and that means that any 10-year-old with a sword is allowed to leave town and go out into the world where exploding mice live, and you think I'm joking? Look, there's a freaking exploding mouse. Check it out. I'm gonna go hit it, actually. Not in that sense, I mean with my sword. Perverts. I wouldn't hit that. Anyway. So... the guy we saw earlier, the Gorman the troop leader, which I'm not going to follow up on that story, but that's a whole nother subplot, for instance. You know, you get this romance story, and then you have Gorman. And basically he's upset because he's kind of a showman, and I accidentally talked to this kid, and I totally don't want to, so shut the frick up. Go away. I don't like you. You're little and you smell. So he's very upset that the carnival is lag. He's very upset that the carnival is kind of being called off because, you know, the apocalypse is coming and nobody has time to watch people dance and sing and otherwise make... See, he's very upset. Basically, the mayor's wife, who I was talking to earlier, whose son is missing, has abandoned the whole carnival idea, and so he's not going to get paid and he's not going to get to perform, so he's pissed off and he's leaving like little wussy boy is in his tight tights and his funny shoes. But again, I'm not going to explore that angle, but at least now you know why I've been kind of stalking him and looking at him funny, because he kind of ties in with the mayor's wife, and I have to talk to the mayor's wife in order to find her son. I promise this will all resolve itself in an hour. It really does take that long. Because, as you may have noticed from the way I'm running around like a little ninny, and you may have noticed also that these bunny ears make me run faster. Where are the bunny ears? Because a lot of the subplot requires waiting. Obnoxiously so. Because everything is time-based. It's very like, sometimes within, like, 15 minutes, or sometimes within half an hour, you have to have something accomplished. So, you're waiting around this one specific area because you don't want to miss your time. But, oh, here's the little pitter-patter of the postman feet. No, seriously, there's a mailman. Look, see him? Okay. So this is another plot point, and you're not required to see this, but I wanted to catch all the little bits of this romantic subplot that you can. And the mailman here has come to deliver a letter to Anju, and she's the female love interest in the story. What is this? I have delivered this to you. Wait. This letter, where did she... From the post box. That's not what I mean. From the post box where? From the post box somewhere. That's not what I mean. And they continued to banter. Wait, what? Well, those noises didn't sound sexual at all. Thank you, Mr. Postman, for giving me that horrible mental image. Okay. And pitter-patter. Okay, so I'm gonna continue to wait around, and, I'm gonna put, I think, after this, I guess it's not conventional to mess with Let's Plays and, you know, ruin the continuity commentary of the moment or whatever. Oh, hold on. First I have to talk to her and get my reservation. Oh, you do have a reservation, that's good. Mr. J.O., is it? Oh, one moment, please. Mr. J.O., I have you down for an afternoon arrival. Your room is on our knife chamber on the second floor. Here's your key. You've got a room key. You're not sure why, but apparently you had a reservation. Please relax. Okay, so this is the I'm looking for Kafei mask. You're also looking for Kafei? I have a request. Kafei, I have a clue that will help you find him. Tonight at 11:30, please come to our kitchen. We'll talk then. See how time sensitive that is? I have to be there at 11:30. And that's the reason I got the room key. You may be wondering, okay, why do you have a reservation? Well, you'll find out in a minute, but if I don't have that room key, I actually cannot get into the inn that late at night, at 11:30, and then you can't move on to the next part of the subplot. And this romantic subplot lasts the full 3 days. You have to catch all these little things, and there's also a lot of little cutscenes like the one with the postman, but more importantly, a bigger cutscene that's going to come later that people miss, because you don't have to see it, but you kind of end up seeing it. Okay, here's the answer to the question of why I have a reservation. Come loping up the path. The city is so busy it's hard to find one's way, Goro. This guy. And you'll find out in a minute why I have a reservation as soon as he walks through that door, or takes his long, slow time to walk up to the counter. But yeah, Kafei is a very rich kid. He's the mayor's son, and Anju is the owner of this little ramshackle inn that even my fairy, who is kind of a bitch, sorry, she is, admits it's a very ramshackle, unimpressive inn. And so it's a little bit of a... I'm terribly sorry, there are no vacancies today. We're booked solid with reservations. I made a reservation. The name is Jeogoro. Mr. Jeogoro? Well, I don't have a reservation.